got to fight this guy. Oh, you got injured in camp. You lose to that guy too. Now you're set back when you could have been a champion.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of like weirdness going on with possibilities and, you know, just luck, bad luck and good luck.
Bad luck and good luck. Timing, I think, is a big thing.
How is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's completely unfair. It is completely just, I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to get canceled.
Going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back when criticizing Jake Paul for fighting Gervonta Tank Davis despite the massive size difference. He reminded fans that weight classes exist for safety, not show. Rogan said Jake seems more focused on hyping the event than respecting the sport's fairness. With Jake's bigger frame and power, Rogan fears the fight isn't just unfair, it's dangerous and unnecessary.
Sure, but no time limit within the weight class.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be pretty that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy.
Because you know, like two guys are facing off each other, like, and they know, like, there's no rescue every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you go into it knowing you're either getting knocked down or submitted, or you're doing that to the other person.
Michael Bisping also blasted Jake's choice, calling the fight completely unbalanced. He pointed out that Jake is fighting someone nearly 100 pounds lighter, which breaks the very spirit of boxing. Bisping reminded fans that Jake's match with 58-year-old Mike Tyson was already controversial, and now he's doing it again with Tank Davis. To Bisping, this isn't a fair test of skill, but a stunt for personal gain, where Tank's safety is clearly at risk.
One thing, that's called being a bully. It was bad enough when he fought Mike Tyson, a man that was 58 years old, and he was walking around like, I just beat the baddest man on the planet. I just destroyed Mike Tyson and went out there and I beat him, and him and his brother are all celebrating and shit like that. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word: whoa, 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 stop being such a bully. Leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have here. It is ridiculous. When you look at the tail of the tape, Gervonta Tank Davis, granted, a very, very skilled boxer, a world champion. He's had some great wins. He's had a tremendous career. He's got 28 knockouts on his record. I'm just looking at the tail of the tape here. 30 years old, Jake Paul, 28. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" tall, whereas Jake Paul is 6'1". I would never dream on picking on a guy that is 5'5" tall. Granted, there's some tough guys out there that are 5'5", okay? They're smaller guys, you know, but for 5'5", they'll pack a good punch. Typically, they're mixed martial artists or boxers.
Teddy Atlas reacted to the face-off between Jake and Tank with disbelief, joking that Tank would need a ladder just to reach Jake's chin. Atlas said while differences in style make boxing exciting, the size gap here is way too extreme. He believes Tank is simply too undersized to compete effectively, making this fight look one-sided before the first punch is even thrown.
Things, right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract, but I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping. And it made me think, and I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him, because I know he's an expert in this area, but it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there.
Joe Rogan doubled down, saying Jake Paul is chasing publicity, not competition. He explained that these odd matchups are designed to grab headlines and attract casual fans, not to prove real skill. According to Rogan, Jake's goal is to stay in the spotlight, not uphold boxing's integrity. The problem? These spectacles make a mockery of the sport's tradition and fairness.
That's a problem. That makes it a problem. My opinion is, I just want to say, in case someone calls me into court, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know nothing. And don't take my advice.
I love the Saudis.
Don't take my opinion.
I love the Israeli government. I love everybody.
That had nothing to do with them. That was Jake Paul promoting it. It's just doesn't bother me.
There's compromising the sport, and that's bad. It's just
if I bet on it,
watching
it bothers the fuck out of me.
Watching it with people who are so in on it, and then also man, the sports betting apps, they introduced chat apps in them in Australia, so it's they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Betting should be exciting enough without having a weird,
they're just trying to draw you in.
Thing.
They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in any way they can.
Leonard Ellerby revealed that Tank Davis wasn't mentally prepared to face Lamont Roach. He said Tank had been battling personal issues and didn't want to take on more pressure. That's why the Roach fight fell apart, despite high fan demand. According to Ellerby, Tank needed time to focus on his personal life rather than jump into another stressful showdown.
Leonard Ellerby said,
Reports now claim Gervonta Davis plans to retire after his fight with Jake Paul. Insiders say this isn't about legacy, it's about financial security. Analysts believe Tank took this fight for the massive payday, not competition. With all the struggles he's faced lately, this looks like a smart business move, a final cash out before walking away from boxing for good.
What you make? Let's go band for band on what you make. Again, there's nothing wrong with Tank going to get his money, but let's all be clear that that's all the fight is for Tank. He's telling you without telling you that he's fighting Jake just because he's getting $40 million. So when we talk about boxing being dead, Tank has to line up at the front of the line. I can't blame him, but don't throw around, boxing's dead and people switch sides and all of that. You chose not to be great. That's it. You chose not to be great. Stuff like that, choices like that will kill boxing. For sure. On a competitive level, it won't kill it on a business level. On a business level, until people run out of interest in these kind of matchups, it'll do well. On a competitive level, choosing not to fight the best will kill the sport. So maybe it's better if people like Tank aren't in the sport. And I don't even say that because I want that to be the case. I think Tank is ridiculously talented, but you can't want a fighter to fight more than what they want to. You can't. Tank fans or people that like Tank and think he's one of the best, you can't want it for him. And then Shakur came back with, "That's how I know you soft. I can't even go back and forth with you, soft ass. You rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz." He says, the people got your chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you. Clown-ass dude, wanna be Kevin Gates. Oh my goodness. Here's the thing though. You can't say that stuff about Shakur if you're not willing to fight him. This is the point I think that we're going to come to today, is that Tank can say all this stuff he wants, but if you're not willing to fight Shakur, then none of it means anything anymore. Even if you believe that Tank is going to knock him out, even if you believe that Shakur's a runner, or that he's not in the trenches, or he's not a boxer that's willing to bring the fight or whatever, none of it matters. You're talking from the sideline because you won't fight him.
Daniel Cormier says the entire fight setup is a mess. He recalled how Tank seemed unsure about the weight class at the press conference, a huge red flag in a sport built on structure. Cormier slammed the organizers for approving such a dangerous mismatch, saying Jake's size advantage breaks the limits of fairness and safety. To him, this fight exposes how far boxing has drifted toward entertainment and how easily true competition gets sacrificed for views and money.